If you don't know, now you know. Okay. If that's not black excellence, I don't even know what to say. What it is and what it ain't, it's your girl AMBREALERTT, and I am back with another video. Okay, as promised, we are talking about the movie Passing. Last video I discussed the book Passing by Neela Larson, and today we are getting into the movie. Okay, first of all, I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. I haven't been feeling so well, so I have been, behind the scenes, chilling with my family and just getting myself back together. I do want to say Happy Holidays to you guys. I love you guys so much, and thank you for all the support that I've been getting this year. I will have like closing videos for the rest of the year, talking about the year and everything, and just how grateful I am to you guys. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So the movie was really good. Like, first of all, the movie was really good. It definitely gave me some insight that I didn't get from the book, which I also enjoyed reading, but I'm glad that I read this first and then I watched the movie, because I definitely got some things I didn't get from the book, or a different like view, I guess. And that's why I love books that turn into movies. Yeah, the main thing that I got from the movie was that Irene was also passing for white. It was like part-time, and I'll explain that too. In the beginning of the movie, these two white ladies walking down the street or whatever, and she comes out of nowhere. I think the white ladies drop a doll on the floor that's like a black doll, and she helps them pick it up, but she's also like tilting her head down, and she also has the brim of her hat is very low, so someone can't really look in her face and tell that she's black or whatever. So I could tell that a lot of her mannerisms was because she was, passing, using her biracialness to get just better service. She was trying to find these toys for her boys, and she was looking all over town. So I guess she thought she would go up to, the nice part of town to get it. And she passes to, get what she needs for her kids or for herself or whatever the case may be. And I just felt like her husband has no idea. And just kind of like Claire, it's just a little bit less extreme. And I didn't catch that from the book. I told y'all in the book that I did catch that Irene was biracial because of how she was talking, but I didn't know that she was passing too. It just was less extreme, but it was the same. So now, like, seeing the view of her, like, in the movie, it shows that she's being a little judgmental, because it's like, you're passing too. You're just not, literally like coloring your skin white. Shows that their lifestyles isn't that different. And seeing that, Irene has a black maid, and, even Claire doesn't have a black maid or a maid at all. I mean, I'm sure she has a maid. Even seeing that, Irene she lives in Harlem, but she don't live in a small, poor house or a poor neighborhood. She lives in a good neighborhood. She lives in a big house. Her husband's a doctor. She has a black maid, and, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like her lifestyle isn't, like, she doesn't live that different from Claire after all, including the part that she's passing. In the scene where she's, going to the hotel, she wouldn't have been able to get in if she wasn't like passing for white, acting as if she was white or looking as if she was white. I didn't think about that when I was reading the book. I didn't think about the fact that she actually got into the hotel, how she get into the hotel, how she ended up seeing Claire in this swanky hotel. And I think I thought about that a little bit, but it's kind of slipped my mind at the same time. It was good to kind of go back to that thought and be like, wow, well, she had to be like passing a little bit, because, how was she going to get into this hotel if she was looking as, as her colored self, as they would say back in the day. The same day in the movie, the same day that she met Claire was the same day she met her husband, and she actually went up to her suite and they were hanging out a little bit. But in the book, it was different. It was a different day that she met the husband, so it was more time for her to think about, like, seeing her for the first time and stuff. So I thought it was strange too to see, like, from the book's perspective, it shows that, you know, Irene loves her kids and she's a great mother, and as on the contrary to Claire, like, that she's never with her daughter, and she's never, like, and she kind of almost despises being a mother. But I think Irene does too. Like, seeing the movie, I think Irene barely spent time with her kids as well, and she had a maid, so she had help with her kids all the time. And in the movie, Irene even seemed like very depressed, as well as in the book, but she seemed even more depressed. And, you know, she was sleeping most of the day, and she only saw her sons in the morning and at night. So it was like you barely, you know, you caught that gist that she barely had a relationship with her sons. And of course, you know, if you're a mom, you love your kids, but it shows that she barely spent any time with them. In the household, the husband, Irene and her husband, they never said the N word, like, just in conversation. And black people talk like that all the time. And it may not be right, you know, but it's definitely not white. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people talk like that. Like, if somebody called you the N word, we say that when we talk about it. We say the word. So to see that they didn't say it, or that they muffled it, I mean, and I'm just talking about just amongst themselves and not even in front of the kids. I understand not saying it in front of the kids, but, like, just amongst themselves, talking in the bed at night, like, they just didn't say the N word. And that's something that black people do all the time. So that was weird. Time as Claire, like, got more into Irene's life, I saw that Irene's family started to like Claire more than Irene, it seemed. It seemed like the maid really liked her. It seemed like the kids really liked her because she spent time with them and she was playing with them, and even her husband. And I already got the gist from the book that he was cheating with Claire, but seeing them kind of flirty and just really close, and, like, laughing, giggling in each other's face, like, you could really tell something was happening between them. It seemed like as the movie was going and they were all hanging, Irene felt like she was a third wheel. Like, a lot of the time that she was around, when Claire was there with her husband, it just seemed like she was like a third wheel or a fly on the wall, just looking, like, just kind of peering in and kind of imagining, like, what could possibly be happening when I'm not around, if they're doing all of this in front of all our friends, and, you know, just being real close and flirty in front of all our friends and stuff, like, when I'm right here. So yeah, it was a lot of things that were happening that was inappropriate as Claire came into her life. And Irene, she did seem, like, disgusted at the fact that, you know, Claire was just living carelessly, you know, and vicariously through her. You know, it was like almost like she was trying to take over her life. Like, she wanted to take her husband, and, you know, and not for good, but just for the moment because it felt right. You know, she was one of those type of girls that you should never leave your husband with. But she seemed kind of disgusted too at the fact that she just didn't care, you know, if her husband found out, and as long as she was getting what she wanted to get, like, out of everything. It seemed like she wanted the black man for the sex and the flirtiness and, you know, kind of like the protection, but not really in general. And at the end, in the scene where, you know, Claire is being flung out the window, that gave a whole lot of clarity from the book, because I did not know what happened. Like, I don't know what I thought. I thought that she fell down the steps or something. I didn't think it was, like, out of the window. It did not dawn on me that she had, like, fell out the window or something. In the book, it said, like, she left out the room with her husband, and then after that, nobody had seen what happened. So, but in the movie, it was different. It was like Irene was standing. She was the one that opened the window in the first place, and she was smoking a cigarette, just looking outside. And then she heard the husband's voice from outside the door, and they all turned around. And I think Claire knew it was him, but she was like, you know, she didn't seem fazed at all that he was there, and or that she knew she heard his voice, because everybody heard it. And he came in and he was mad as hell about like discovering that she was black, and it seemed like he was trying to grab her, and he could have even pushed her out the window if he would have got close enough, or even if she felt like scared enough to back up, she could have just fell out the window herself. But Irene definitely like pushed her, and I don't think it was on purpose, like to kill her, but I do feel like it happened. Like, I don't know what, like, it was, I don't know. Because it's like, it seemed like it was an accident too, but it's like it worked for Irene at the same time. So was it an accident? I don't know. Like, it could have very well not been an accident either, because it's like, it was just happening over and over again. Like, her coming into her life, messing stuff up, making people, you know, look differently, and it was making her very depressed over time. And I feel like she was already feeling a little depressed, like on her own. But just like the thought and the idea of someone just coming, taking your husband and your kids like her more, and your maid likes her more, and it just make you feel like shit. So I felt a lot of that going on in the movie. The movie was great. Like, the movie was in black and white, which really gave way to, you know, the theme of, like, passing, you know what I mean? So it showed both Claire and Irene, like, with light, almost white skin tones, which fit because both of them were passing as white, you know? And I think that if Irene's husband would have known that she was doing it too, he would have been definitely disappointed in her for sure. Just knowing that she was actively doing that. And, you know, it sucks. I do feel bad for her too, because I know why she was doing it. And she even said in the movie and in the books that she did it out of convenience. Like, you know, whether it's, you know, being able to shop at a store or whatever, or get something that you can't get at a black a all black store. Like, I get that, I get why, but it's still like, you know, it's still not good. It's still not good. And for her to like look down on Claire the way she was looking down on her was really judgy, especially when she was doing the same thing. Except she just didn't have a white husband, and she wasn't lying about a race like that. Like, I mean, Claire lied. Like, she completely lied about her race to her husband. And Irene didn't do that with her husband. Her husband, I'm sure he probably knew she was mixed with white. Or I'm sure he could tell. But he didn't know she was in these streets, like, you know, actively, you know, portraying a white woman out in public. And that's pretty sad for her to actually do that. And she just looked very miserable, like, after a while. Like, she just looked very sad and miserable, and just like her regular routine was just making her miserable as fuck. Overall, I would say that this movie was great. I believe the director, which is a female, she also has a similar experience with the novel passing and the movie. I think that's pretty interesting, having a director like literally be like have such a close knit relationship with the movie and with the book. So the movie was great. For it to not be like a, you know, something that you see in theaters, like it literally should be in theaters. That's how good it is. I do wish it was a little bit longer, only because I don't know, like, the book is such a cliffhanger. Like, it's like you want to know what happens at the end. You want to know, like, after the end, it's like, what else though? Like, what happened to the husband? What happened to Irene after that? Like, you want to know some type of conclusion. What happened to her daughter, like, after she died or whatever. So how did, you know, Irene's family pick up the pieces after she died? You just want to know all those things. And you know, the book itself is so good that it makes you just, you have to move on. And it's like, I don't want to move on. I want to know what's going on. So I'm glad that the movie came out because it was very good. Like, a lot of people's family can relate to that. A lot of people were passing back in the day, and a lot of people wanted better for their families, and they felt like they had to, you know, go to extreme lengths as passing just to make their life better. So it's very interesting to say the least. If you guys have watched this movie, let me know in the comments below. We can talk about it. What scene from the movie did you guys like the best? I tried to wait to do this video until, like, I felt like I had more time to watch it. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. It was really good to read the book first and then watch the movie, because I got a lot more clarity than what I got from the book, and as well as like the same clarity that the same things that I already knew from the book, I got from the movie too. So I felt like I wasn't like tripping, and it was just good. It was just a good movie. So if you guys are interested, make sure you download Netflix right now. Go watch that. Go watch Passing. You know what I'm saying? Also, some of the content that I'm going to be doing next year is going to be on Netflix. So just download Netflix if you want to follow along with the content that I'm going to be coming out with next year. Make sure that you download Netflix. Do the little like 8, 9, or I think it's like $9 or $10 a month. Do a little $10 a month jump, and you can follow me, and we'll do this together, okay? It's Ombre Alert. Make sure you like, comment below, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.